The paradox of fiction. You sit in the dark, eyes locked on the screen. A character you love is dying. You know they're not real. You know the actor will walk off set, laughing between takes. But still, your chest tightens. Your eyes burn. Your stomach turns to knots. And it doesn't matter if it's a movie, a novel, a game, or a drawing. You feel it, as if something real is being lost. This is the paradox of fiction, a strange glitch in how our minds work. We know fictional characters don't exist. We know the events aren't happening. And yet, we react. We mourn. We care. But how can we have real emotions for things we know are fake? Philosophers call it a contradiction. 1. To feel emotion, you must believe something is real. 2. But we don't believe fictional stories are real. 3. Yet we do feel real emotions from them. All three seem true, but they can't be at the same time. So what's going on? Some say it's a trick of the brain, that emotions evolved before logic, and our mind can't always tell the difference between symbolic suffering and real pain. Our empathy kicks in automatically. Others argue that fiction creates a temporary world where belief is suspended, a mental what-if zone. Inside that zone, emotions can be real, even if the story isn't. But there's a darker idea. That fiction isn't just entertainment. It's simulation, a controlled dose of grief, joy, fear, all crafted to manipulate the machinery of your emotions. And if we feel more watching a film than we do living our own life, what does that say about reality? Maybe we aren't reacting to fiction at all. Maybe fiction is reacting to us, shaping itself to echo the emotions we crave. Maybe it's not fake feelings, but feelings exposing what's missing in the real world. This is the paradox. We cry over pixels. We grieve for paper. We love things that never existed. But maybe that says less about fiction and more about us, because sometimes what's unreal hurts the most, and that is the paradox of fiction. The Boltzmann Brain. Imagine this. You're floating in space, alone, fully conscious, with thoughts, memories, fears, everything that makes you you. But there's no body, no earth, no history, no universe that led to your existence. Just a random spark of awareness formed out of chaos. That's the Boltzmann brain. And if physics is right, it might be more likely than you are. Let's rewind. In the 1800s, physicist Ludwig Boltzmann tried to explain why the universe seems so ordered, even though the laws of thermodynamics say it should dissolve into entropy, a state of maximum disorder. His answer? Maybe the universe is mostly chaos, but occasionally, by pure chance, random pockets of order emerge, not because they were designed, not because they evolved, but because, in an infinite amount of time, everything, no matter how unlikely, will happen, including this entire universe, including you, including a brain just popping into existence, complete with fake memories, a made-up past, a false sense of identity, and enough time to wonder where it came from, before fading back into the void. Here's the paradox. If random fluctuations are the reason we exist, then it's way more likely for just one brain to appear than for a whole universe like ours to form. So statistically, you shouldn't be living in a consistent reality. You should be a disembodied consciousness, drifting through nonsense, hallucinating a life that never was. Everything you know, your childhood, your planet, your pain, could be illusions generated by a momentary glitch in chaos. And the scariest part? There's no way to prove you're not one, because if you were, your entire life would feel exactly like this. All the science, all the people, all the beauty and tragedy. A simulation inside a decaying thought that never belonged to anyone real. This is the Boltzmann Brain paradox. It questions the foundation of everything we call real, and whispers that consciousness itself might be a cosmic mistake, a statistical hiccup, a ghost with no origin. So next time you wake up, ask yourself, is this a memory or the first second of your only thought? And that is the Boltzmann Brain. The Paradox of Vagueness. Imagine a single grain of sand. It's not a heap. Add one more, still not a heap. Another. You keep adding, and somewhere along the line, it becomes one. But when? At what exact grain? Does not a heap become a heap? This is the paradox of vagueness, a slow erosion of logic caused by the way we use words. It's also called the Surreal's paradox, from the Greek word for heap, and it doesn't stop at sand. A single hair doesn't make you hairy. A single coin doesn't make you rich. One day doesn't make you old. But add enough, and suddenly everything changes. Or does it? Because if removing one grain doesn't destroy a heap, you could remove them one by one forever, and still say you have a heap, until you're left with nothing at all. So here's the trap. If small changes make no difference, then big changes can't exist, because they're just made of small ones. And yet, we know that's wrong. So where's the mistake? Some philosophers blame language. Our words are blurry, not built for exact edges. They evolve from feelings, not mathematics. Tall, old, rich, heap. They don't have fixed definitions. They drift. Others think the real problem is in our logic, that we're addicted to black and white thinking. Yes or no, heap or not, real or unreal. But the universe isn't made of switches. It's made of gradients. And that's what makes this paradox dangerous. Because vagueness isn't just about sand. It's about everything. At what point does a lie become the truth? At what point does a friend become a stranger? When does freedom become chaos? When does protection become control? The lines we draw are always drawn in fog, and the deeper you look, the more reality seems to melt into ambiguity. Maybe the world isn't vague. Maybe we are. Maybe the paradox of vagueness isn't that categories blur, but that we ever believe they were solid at all. And that is the paradox of vagueness.